Hello and welcome to another episode of the DewatchPod podcast. I am Jorgen Smorgasbord.
And I am Jim with a G, and we're coming back at you, Star Trek Discovery.
And this is the first time we're recording this intro.
The very first time. But we are here with New Eden.
That's right.
From Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
That's right. We have gone through the seasons in reverse order, and we've done mostly exclusively one episode per season because they're very serialized and it's hard to pick an episode you can watch on its own.
This one feels very self-contained, in some ways. I mean, hints to greater stuff, obviously, but...
Yeah, I'm glad you feel that way, because I didn't feel good about my pick in that regard.
Really?
Yeah.
They're even, like, on an isolated world and stuff.
Yeah. That said, would we recommend to the dear listeners of the podcast to watch New Eden?
Shrug from me, I would say.
No, from me.
Okay. I think it's not gonna lead you anywhere. But it's like, okay. I feel like this is maybe the one I am least enthusiastic about in Discovery so far.
Like positively and negatively?
Exactly, yeah. Like I do not have like a quantity of emotion about this episode. Like, so the valence doesn't really matter, you know?
So another ringing endorsement from Jim.
I'm sorry. Like, I'm trying to give Star Trek Discovery a chance, but it's just not really making an impact so far.
Yeah.
And this might be maybe the worst one in terms of making an impact, positive or negative so far.
Interesting. Yeah. There are a few things that I wanted to tie into, but we can loop around to that in a bit. Now, if you do still want to go ahead and watch this episode or listen to this episode, we do have some content warnings for you.
That's right. We have violence
and gore,
and that's it. And like, honestly,
there's not that much of either.
There's like a flash, like a cut of what is technically gore.
Yeah.
This is another strong candidate for least content warnings we've ever had to do for an episode.
Yeah,
on this
and
podcast.
like just like by amount of screen time that like potentially stressful content is on screen. This is really low.
Yeah, so you're probably good, even if you do have a little bit of sensitivity towards these things. Nevertheless, where do our galactic journeys take us this time, Jorgen?
Well, we're basically following a breadcrumb that is left by Michael's brother, Spock.
This was an episode of Revelations for me.
Yeah, no, I was really looking forward to this.
I'm kind of impressed that you kept it from me all this time.
Well, they just completely drop it after like season 2,
which is its own kind of miracle. Because I'm like, as a modern Star Trek, surely you would like shoehorn in every Spock and Kirk reference you can.
Well, I think...
I guess they did here. It just...
That is the point of, like, seasons, like, 3+, that they're like, we cannot keep living in, like, the fucking lore-addled past. We have to break free.
I guess that's the correct decision, at least, but it is a bit jarring.
Yeah. But yeah, no, but, like, that doesn't actually matter, because we've also just, like, recorded some appearances of us, like a red flash, and that's like the season arc starting, and Captain Pike's here from Strange New Worlds, so we've got a little bit of a like reshuffled cast. This is also reshuffled from season 1. I should foreshadow, I guess.
So Captain Pike is just in here for a season?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't see him after this, and you don't see him before this.
When you say after this, you don't just mean this episode,
this
right?
season. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a little bit of a reshuffle cast. So they're doing a lot of like, hey, here's what happened in season 1, by the way, which I think hit you like a truck.
It was sort of a crash landing. It's like one of those things when you get too much new information and none of it actually integrates.
Yeah.
Or I could not recall what the fuck was going on in that at this point, and it's been less than an hour since we saw that intro, something like that.
Nevertheless, we we have like a little bit of a Stamets moment where he's like, "Ah, I sure hope I don't get us stranded into my mycelial network," and then he doesn't, so it's fine. So he just like gets to have like a little bit of a character moment, that like doesn't integrate with the episode whatsoever. And
Yeah, there's more to come on that front, to be clear.
we go to New Eden, which is sending out a weird emergency broadcast, but there's no like ships in civilization. So they're like, what's going on here? And I think they work out over the course of some time that these are like some like humans who just like got fucking zapped over here through means that are and will remain mysterious, sort
Yeah.
of.
Pre-warp, so they couldn't
Yeah.
have gone here on their own. They have no electricity, so like they can't have been there for long. But they
Well,
do have a distress call.
they don't have their like own good electricity
I
generation.
do think they say they don't use electricity.
They they have the electricity's running out. It's what because the church used to be lit, and now they're like our
Yeah,
batteries are
but I think the
dying.
idea is that it has gone.
Yes,
They
but
do say during the like, oh, what's going on to these humans on this remote
there
planet?
are like electric lights here and there.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like that they're like really running out, and so it's rationed rather than like a shining monument.
But they do find the distress signal originating from this quaint little white church on the
Yeah,
planet's
it's
surface.
like more like chapel sized,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, chapel. I don't know what the technical difference is.
I don't know if it's probably like whether it has a priest.
Really? Yeah, I could see it.
This one most certainly does have a priest, so I guess in that sense it is a church. And they teleport in and are like, all right, let's have a look around. Let's see what the fuck is going on here. And they're like, ah, yeah, no, we have. Let's see, what is it? The cross, and then there's like the Star of David, like sort of like in the bottom
Yeah.
corner. And do you remember which one is to the right of the Star of David?
It looked just kind of like almost like a lotus symbol or something like that.
So that must be
But the
Buddhism.
maybe they don't actually mention Buddhism because
That's right.
the next one they jump to is Islam with a star and crescent,
Yeah.
and then Hinduism, which I think is just like an image of. I didn't look that closely, but I think it's just one of the images of the gods.
Yeah, I thought it was
And
like
then, of course, the fifth major world religion of Wicca.
yeah, that's
Uh,
right.
which, like, I can understand why they aren't just going down the population list, but I was like, Wicca, really?
So, they get discovered by a local who's like, "Where are you from?" "Up north,"
And
which
as we've
is a
stated,
perfectly working dodge.
yeah, it's just completely functional. If you show up in someone else's house, they come home and they go, "Who are you? Where are you from?" And you go, "The North." They'll
But
be
of
like, "Okay."
course, despite being from here, they nevertheless are given the lowdown on the local history
Yes.
in case they've forgotten since coming
And
here.
and I think importantly, my understanding is that all of the people on this planet, which I think it was like a couple of tens of thousands or something like that.
11,000, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah. All of them come from one singular like arc event,
Yeah.
right? Like there isn't like a distinguishable
Yeah,
culture
exactly.
here, really.
And basically they were hanging out during World War III, as you do, because what else are you gonna
Being
do?
shot at.
And they were going to get nuked, uh, which was very unfortunate. But thankfully, they got dragged through space to like the far, far side of the galaxy that's only accessible via spore drive, and by like an angel or something.
Yeah, this is all being told to us by like the village priest, who's
Yeah,
basically
and
an
she's
African.
like she has like middle-aged white lady stuff like
Do you say that because she's a middle-aged white lady?
well yeah, but she also has like the energy, you know, of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sort of a spiritual middle-aged white lady.
She is not quite the cool pastor, but a nice pastor.
Yeah. And like we are getting like a little bit of science versus religion in this episode, but like it's really muted.
Yeah.
And
Also, a quick flag here. They're very explicit in like calling attention to the syncretism. Like, I think it's at this sort of like meeting with the priest that they're like, we just mushed them all together. Like, not in a mystical or metaphorical sense. They just go, well, we took everything and just made something out of it. Which I'm like, that's a very interesting way to introduce syncretism.
Yeah,
Not
no.
like we found the hidden secrets in all of the world's different religions and put them together. Look, so they take one pillar of Islam, one of the books of the Bible, just a couple of aesthetics from Hinduism or whatever. But they very much call attention to this, right?
Yeah, they're like, no, we did this on purpose because we reckoned, like, well, you know.
This is some real like Mughal Emperor Akbar shit. Like he just actually did this and got like 12 followers before he died. This is now dropped. I do not believe this comes up in the rest of the episode.
Well, they're around.
Yeah,
They, well, so they do believe in, like, the angel, right? Like,
that's true.
that's the sort of new uniting, like, principle that's, like, tying the regional Orange Catholic Bible together.
But it's bizarre to me that they could have just gone with like, anyway, so we were vaguely Christian and now we had a vaguely Christian specifically focused on this angel sect, you know?
Yeah, but
Like,
no, they're a syncretic angel sect. And the the guy who discovered them has a different theory because he's from a generational set of scientists who are
yeah.
like, oh no man, like Earth probably isn't gone after the Third World War. They're probably doing really well.
Yeah.
Which is also, like, to be clear, like, this is posted like the science option, but he's also taking this on faith. And he doesn't have, like, his own take on the angel.
They haven't come to any of this via scientific methods. It's just a
No.
rejection of this particular line of religious reasoning,
Yeah.
right? Like this is one where you could have gone like, no, 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 it's not lizardmen keeping control over all of us. It's Sasquatches. Like you're not actually doing a different methodology here.
Yeah.
But I guess the distinguishing part is that he doesn't believe in that religious line of thinking, and he kind of, like I say, like he believes in Earth is the main thing.
But yeah, he does, and he thinks like Earth isn't dead, and they're coming to save them. Which, like, again, like fairly religious thinking for someone
Yeah.
who's representing the science branch of this not very hot science versus religion beef.
But he ends up being right.
Extremely, right? And they're like rummaging through his shit for reasons that I don't think amount to anything. And he's like, you guys are from Earth, right? Come on, just say it, please say it. And they're like, no, we have to go now, and he grenades them.
As you do, as you do.
And then ties them up in the basement, and they escape easily.
And he takes their shit and runs off to the village
Yeah.
priest and is like, your religion is false, look at these cool things.
Yeah, and immediately the expedition party shows up and is like, we would like our stuff back, please. But a child accidentally like triggers a phaser to explode. So Captain Pike, who's leading the party, like throws himself on the grenade, is like not that badly blasted, but like he is going to die.
Beyond like mid 1900s med tech, at least to fix.
Yeah.
And
Well, I guess they're probably like regressing through technology
probably
rather
that too,
than
yeah.
progressing. And Mr. Discoverer is like, oh, you gotta heal him now. You gotta heal him now. And they're like, we gotta take him to the church, actually.
To pray over him.
And after which they execute the extremely like blunt strategy of throwing the door closed just in front of the people who are following them and teleporting out.
Yeah, I couldn't like take the 5 seconds to like throw a cabinet in front of the door or anything.
But they bust open the door and just like see an ascension.
Yeah, you gotta give credit to Scientist Man here because he gives the like, hey, let me in, and then it's like, oh fuck it, like just about a second and a half of deliberation before he shoulder checks
And
it.
you really have to like lay some blame at the builders of this church, which is not at all sturdy.
Yeah, no, it doesn't even have like a crash as it bursts open. Unfortunately, his incredible determination leads to him being just granting a miracle to his religious opponent and being like, fuck.
And aboard the ship, they're like, well, I get thank you, Burnham, or Michael Burnham, for not just telling them and going with the orders. And That's cool. Anyway, I'm going to go down. Captain Pike, I'm going to go down and tell the guy, like, yeah, no, you were right. Here's a sick, nasty battery. Can we have the camera that shows the angel? And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
Notably, the camera was like on one of the soldiers'
Yeah.
heads and like had been broken, but like clearly
hmm
within the capacity of like Starfleet to repair, right?
As it turns out, indeed. And yeah, he has like his own like para-religious experience, and it's like, "Oh, Earth is real. I was visited by a star fleeter from Earth, and he gave me a battery," which does probably give him like a big leg up in, the sort of battle for legitimacy.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about that during the end of this episode. I was like, man, he could just like form his own messianic cult now.
Yeah, no, like the church like glows real hard
Yeah, I
after he plugs in the battery, and like it like they do just hand him like a future tech battery. I, I'm sort of stuck on that a little bit.
I was thinking about it too, and I was like, no, I'm partitioning this for me into too close to CinemaSins territory to talk about.
Yeah,
But perhaps we can get back to that if we wish to dunk, as we often do. Side stories of this episode. Radioactive debris from space is hurtling towards the planet.
and they like use an asteroid's gravity field to
Specifically a dark matter asteroid.
which
Jorgen.
doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
It's just like from a season arc that is now being concluded.
Yeah, Tilly is fucking around with making like this is probably incorrect.
A dark matter spore drive interface.
Okay, so it was like they're doing a UI. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
The difficulty is interfacing.
Gotcha.
It comes up in season 3 as well, and Stamets yells at her. You
Fair.
saw that scene, I think.
Probably. I don't think I had enough context to really get it.
Me neither.
Fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, it's a very light side story, right?
Yeah,
like it's about Tilly doing
Yeah.
renegade shit.
And also, like, Tilly sees a ghost,
Yes.
which, like, is also a season arc thing, and also Tilly collects a piece of asteroid.
Yeah, which is for the spore drive, right?
And gets, like, turbo blasted after she is successful.
I quite liked the little, like, asteroid mining tool they have. I mean, it was quite cute that they had, like, a little containment field in the same thing as, like, the laser drill. I was like, yeah, you know what? Credit. Anyway, that's my opinions on the sides.
But yeah, like, this side story takes up a fair amount of time, doesn't amount to anything, and that's
the episode.
All I have to say about it.
So, let's talk about religion. Which are your top 5 religions, Jurgen?
Like, this feels like Name a Woman, in that, like, I'm not sure under these circumstances I can name 5 religions.
No, it's meant to be controversial.
Zoroastrianism.
Hell yeah, I'm there too. I'm a big fan of Jainism.
Oh yeah, Sikhism, Save the Burning World.
We're just doing like a crescent from Iran to India right now. So I'll throw in Buddhism. Why not?
Yeah, and of course, fuck, I'm forgetting the name now. Never mind.
Anyway, so this is an episode about religion, right? Like,
or is it?
Like, it's a whatever we come to, it is a question we have to tackle, right?
So we should probably lead our deeper discussion in with the same thing that the episode like sets up. Its extremely like, here's the theme like dialogue, in which Christopher Pike goes, well, the old quote, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic. Or, as it was later decided, the quote actually means, any sufficiently advanced alien intervention is indistinguishable from God.
Which, like, I feel like I have the question. I don't think you can process quotes like that. That we had a quote.
No, there was a conference and they reinterpreted the quote.
The science of like
that is how you do religion, to be fair. So
I guess, you know what, Pike, you're getting away with this one. But yeah, like that is what is posited here, right? And I think it's interesting. So Captain Pike, I don't know if he's actually like religious in the universe of Star Trek.
He has huge agnostic energy.
That makes sense. But like he is very clearly
But
like
like, American agnostic, where you're like extremely deferential to like the
yeah.
dominant religion.
The I can't say if it's true or not, so we're gonna lean like 80% to you're right,
Yeah,
whatever
no,
you're
we're
doing.
gonna sing the Christmas carols and crucify the heathens, just in case.
Sitting there in the crusade of 1204 being like, now I'm not like a true believer.
But like, have you heard about Pascal's wager?
Anyway, get on the cross, Alexios Komnenos. But yeah, like it is a differential thing. I also think like it's kind of signaling that the sort of thing with like how like senior officers in fiction should be kind of like a little bit religious, like
Yeah,
and comes out in like a I don't know what we're doing here, but we put our faith in God. I didn't know you were religious, Captain. That sort of vibe.
yeah,
I think it's more like a symbol of authority for him, and like a
yeah.
symbol of Pike being this. I don't know if mediator is quite the right word, but like being this level-headed guy who's like,
Hmm.
well, can't say they're wrong. Because we do actually get a quip in there where Burnham is like, I want to prove, like he's trying to prove that like this is a sham, like this is a
Yeah.
miracle, and Pike is like, do you have evidence of that though? Like he's getting a little Reddit about it.
Well, yeah, which is ironic because he's the Reddit atheist pro-religion Aryan.
It's a really
Though to
dense
be
text.
fair, like Burnham does like fess up to like, yeah, no, I have had a religious experience as well, but I don't think of it as a religious experience because I reckon it can be explained by rational means, which is what the season arc is about, of course.
Yeah.
I think it's her mom or something, I forget.
But it's like, okay, so I assume that broadly, this is meant to be a rationally explainable situation, right? That like there was an alien who did this.
Well, not within this episode.
Not within this episode, but in the greater context, right? Like that's the
Yeah.
mystery that is posited here, right? Like who knows? Maybe it's a
Yes.
but I also think the episode itself is kind of hinting towards like these things are pretty explainable.
Yeah, especially if you introduce aliens with transporters into the mix.
And that's the other part where I'm just like, it's hard to do religion in Star Trek. Like, because I'm thinking about, the space ghost curing Mbenga's child of
Hmm.
the season, ascending them into a
Yeah, I
greater state
mean,
of
let
being.
me reach, I guess, ahead for us,
Mm.
but into the past of Star Trek, into the series of Deep Space Nine, in which there is a civilization called the Bajorans, that is sort of has recently thrown off like the yoke of the occupiers, and they're quite religious, and it's sort of like a um like it's fairly analogous to some real stuff,
Hmm.
like decolonization, things of this nature. I forget like what exactly the like Palestine analogies are, but it's also in there.
Right, of course.
um but they're deeply religious. They're I think their religious heads are called Vedics. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah, just throwing that one out for you. But more importantly, their gods are real and they live in space. Which is established, I believe, in episode 1 and 2 of the season or series. So that's usually how it goes in Star Trek. That like, yes, this religion is true, and these deities are specific aliens, that are like extremely advanced.
Huh.
Like that's not that is like standard Star Trek repertoire. Like I'm pretty sure like the like very early treks also did like, oh yeah, no, Roman pantheon, real aliens.
So what we end up getting in Lower Decks, right? With
Yeah,
the...
yeah, that's where she comes from.
But yeah, like it's kind of bizarre in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like I understand where they're coming from, that like, hey, like this has about as much evidence as any
Mm.
Earth time religion. Before you introduced me
And
to
it
Roman
has like
pantheon.
an extremely recent like miracle to like start it off, right?
Yeah.
Because like we are given to understand that like the angel that saved them is real somehow.
Yeah, like this is, from what I understand, like of the timeline, this is one where like an old person right now could have known someone who could have known someone who was there,
Yeah,
right?
or like maybe even less than that
Yeah.
actually. Right? Like these were like adults, maybe yeah, no, like these were like adults, and then it's like maybe two generations past, right? A grandparent of one of these people probably had the gate
If
experience.
they were making this up from whole cloth, they've been doing a hell of a bit, which I don't think is
And
what we're
also,
meant.
how would they have gotten there, right? And
Yeah,
that's sort of
yeah,
the other mystery that doesn't get answered in the episode, but rather in the series.
yeah.
Which I haven't seen. I should flag this probably. I haven't seen season 2 of Discovery. I was a very intermittent watcher.
We're in some brackish waters here
Yeah.
on the DewatchPod podcast. But yeah, like it's kind of interesting that like I feel still, and in the language of Star Trek here, we are kind of led to believe this was an alien,
Mm,
probably quite a powerful one and
yeah.
whatever, technologically advanced, but we should still respect these people's religion. And we should also respect the people who are here to disprove that religion.
Yeah, so the like other thing that hangs over this episode is the Prime Directive or General Order 1
Yes.
as it is still called at this point in the timeline. If you want it being renamed, that is episode 1 completely of Strange New Worlds.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
They mess with it and they're like, no, we've got to upgrade this order's name.
To be fair, every
It's
time the Prime Directive comes up in Star Trek, someone's violating it. So I feel
yeah,
like the
yeah.
making the poster a bit bigger is fair.
Well, not big enough, clearly.
Next
Um,
iteration is Prime Directive, which if you violate, you will die.
right, and the weird thing here is that um what is clearly not an issue to them is that they've just given these people like another like miracle,
Yeah,
while it's quite an issue to go like, all right, Earth is real.
they depart in a beam of light, followed by like the church, just radiating. Like
Well, those are separate events.
those are separate events, but they're pretty close
Yeah.
by. I think that's
No,
it's
it's like what's the deal, you know? Like Pike is like, thank you, Burden, for doing your best to uphold General Order 1. Nevertheless, we did fuck up because our teleporter really does look like extremely like golden light heavy. So we should really look into that. Right? Like but like the episode never like nods to that or like gives any like discussion to that, and like it feels like it sort of is the central conflict.
you really think it would be, right? Like you are messing up in capital letters. And
Yeah,
that feels like it will have consequence. I think the interesting thing about New Eden as a colony here too is that like, yeah, it's religious, but in quite like a loose sense, right? Like there isn't like
yeah.
a and then we give a tenth of our grain to like the church head who rules over all of us. Like it's like a no, like it's nice to go to mass together.
Well, I suppose like one of the elements is that their religion is like patently based on something true in recent memory.
Yeah. But it's like interesting because like there's no societal conflict in that way, right? There isn't a
Yeah.
point where like the I don't even think we can call it a church because like I don't get the vibe of this as being like an organized system.
No.
It's like a priest and a thing y'all believe in, right? Like
Mm.
it's a fairly tribal sense of religion.
Yeah.
Like so it's kind of strange to lack that societal conflict of like is the church, is this religion contributing anything negatively or positively to the society? Like is
Yeah.
it like, oh, you shouldn't do this, like we've banned
Yeah.
healthcare, or like is it we're collecting a bunch of charity? Like there's no weight to like whether these people are right or wrong,
Yeah, and
really.
like our like science boy, like he's not contesting the facts.
Yeah.
But he's like, no, we're not in New Eden. We've been on Earth all along. No, he's like, no, I reckon Earth probably didn't burn
This
like
is
all the way.
this is like one of those topics I know I probably bring up too much, but like this is getting to the point where you're like, if we boil the soup, the spirit, like the spirits that cause disease will go away. Is like a correct analysis with
Yeah,
the wrong words in our modern reading.
yeah,
But like that's kind of what's going on right here. It's like someone is being like they all agree on the facts, and then one of them says, "And that was a religious experience," and then one says, "Nah."
I was probably a person in an angel suit.
It was, and this I guess is where we come around to the, like what actually distinguishes this. Like it's hard to summarize religion, but I think about this sometimes in the context of fantasy, right?
Mm,
Where they're going like, well, the gods are these incredibly powerful beings, but not
yeah,
transcendent. And I'm like, is that the god? Like, where does this change from being a really big wizard? You know?
yeah. I mean, that is like most religions before like the big monotheisms,
Yeah,
though, right? Like that's the interesting part.
yeah. But this is very post
Yeah,
monotheist, right?
absolutely.
Like it, the other thing I guess is that like their religion doesn't seem to have a strong place in their everyday lives, right? Like there isn't a
I mean, I reckon they're like when they like grab the visitors, they're like, and this is our like ritual accounting of like how we got here. Like that's how I actually read that.
yeah, but it's like a storytelling tradition, right? Like in the
Yeah,
same sense that like you know Britain was founded by refugees from Troy is like that's not religious in any meaningful sense. It's
yeah,
wrong, but like it is just a way of telling
yeah.
a story about your people,
Like
right? Like so,
Britain?
yeah, dude, everyone claimed they were descended from Troy for a while.
I didn't realize it reached Britain.
Rome was one of the early big ones,
Yeah, no,
but
that's the one I knew.
I'm pretty sure France at least gave it a shot with that one as well. But yeah, no, the UK
Huh.
did do like the we were Trojans.
Fascinating.
Dude, it was wild for a while. I think there might be some Scandinavian attempt at this too at some point, which is like we weren't even like in Rome. Like, come on.
Well, boats. The Vikings did get to Greece
But yeah,
frequently.
they did. They were very cool there. But yeah, like there's a point here where I'm like, what is this actual dispute about? Like, because if they change to like, okay, we agree on all the facts, and we now decided not to call it a religion, what changes here?
Well, I guess like the argument fundamentally is, can this be explained or not?
Hmm.
Right? And that like that's also like Michael's contribution, right? She's like, well, yeah, I did see the angel, but like I reckon it's probably like a phenomenon rather than divine. Like
Yeah.
the like actual like notion of what, and this is different from the like religion is aliens angle. The actual like anti-religion stance is like religion is when you can't explain things and everything can at least in theory be explained.
Yeah.
And that is like the actual like way we're splitting the conflict, which like I guess like it's not
Because I think
terrible.
you can take two approaches to try to defining like divinity beyond just like power scaling,
Mm,
right? And one of them is that like a just like the mystical
mm,
explanation, right? Like
yeah,
this defies any laws, and like there is no laws that can be made to
yeah,
explain this. The other part that I think is probably more friendly to like a bit more of the established tradition of like monotheism is the transcendental thing. That's like it's not necessarily it can't be explained. God is logical and reasonable
yeah,
and like omnibenevolent,
yeah,
potent and so forth, but he is transcendent. He
yeah,
exists on like a completely different level than everyone else, and not just in terms of being more powerful,
yeah,
just entirely separate.
yeah. And also like there's like a moral dimension that
Yes,
like sort of doesn't factor into it so much if
that's the
you're
thing.
on the science side.
That's the thing that I kind of feel is missing from this episode's treatment of religion is
Yeah,
the moral aspect. Because, like, they're doing the syncretism thing, and like, this is a real thing. People have tried to combine all of these
yeah,
religions. You have like Mani, you have the Bob, you have like Baha'ism. Like this is a thing. People have
yeah.
mushed these together. Maybe not Wicca. I should put on a little bit of an emphasis on. I think Wicca's a bit too new.
I wonder like how they picked.
I do. I think there's a slight sense to me that like they were like we want to make an episode about religion, but we don't want to make anyone uncomfortable. So that's why it's a syncretistic religion.
Maybe.
Um but yeah, like all of these do have commonalities and like moral teachings, right? There
Hmm.
isn't one of those that go and actually killing is sick as hell and you should do it all the time, right? Like they're all kind of like no stealing, no killing, be nice and
Yeah.
so on, charity. So like that's one of those reasons why a lot of religions are apt to be combined in this
Yeah.
way. So it's a bit strange that the moral dimension is gone here.
Yeah, no, like they're not like kill the outsiders or like praise the outsiders. They're just like, come on, they're just people. Like, ironically, like the scientist is the one like arguing that something extraordinary happens is
the
happening.
It's kind of bizarre to see a new religious movement where no one really cares that much about the religion. You
Well, yeah,
know,
no, they're just sort of all in agreement. Like, yeah, this is the deal, and like he's being weird. Like, he's got this science cult thing going on.
like imagine you live in a town and someone shows up and proclaims to be a new prophet of God, but they're not taking it that seriously. They're just like, well, I'm still gonna go to the office tomorrow. I mean, come on. Like, yeah, I have a new set of revelations direct from the voice of God. And do you want to go out for coffee?
Can I put them on the corkboard, maybe? I reckon it's important to share.
If we have a couple too many sports clubs, can you wait like a month? Yeah, that's fine.
Like, does this episode have a core to you?
I kind of don't. I like it's a Prime Directive episode, right? I think that's the actual thing. Which to me is like one of those things that has become a part of like a very central bit of Star Trek
Hmm.
mythology, so to speak. But like I actually do not think the religion is important here. Like I cannot think of an angle to seriously talk about it.
Do you think the Prime Directive is important? Because I don't have that impression. Right? Like, they're like, we're gonna try to keep this, and then, once we've given it, like, some elbow grease, we can, like, throw in the towel and get our shit.
It's it's enough to put in the paperwork of why you violated the Prime Directive.
Yeah, no, it's like a nominal effort.
And then eventually Pike is like, oh fuck it.
I'm just gonna do this myself.
No, day 4 of the trial, the judge goes, I don't give a shit anymore. He's guilty or whatever.
Flipping a coin.
I I think I'm changing. I think I'm saying no to watching this episode in hindsight. I think like the more we talk about it, the
And we
more
haven't talked about the B plot.
no,
Because the
I
B
don't
plot,
care.
yeah, no, like, it's very unfortunate, right? Because, like, we have an attempt to go at themes, and then we have a B plot that just doesn't fucking matter,
I
right?
said
Like, the A plot never encounters the B plot.
that's the bizarre thing.
We have no reason to believe that, like, they debriefed Pike by the time this episode is over.
There's an actual apocalypse incoming onto this community that is allegedly struggling with religion, and the apocalypse is averted by some outsiders, and this is not a relevant piece of information for the episode.
Yeah, like, what are we to take from this? Like, aliens are probably benevolent?
Uh,
Like,
like Pike has this like vibe about him, especially in the first half, where he's like, "Oh, yes, we should respect everyone and their beliefs, and like maybe we can take some wisdom from that." And nah, like I'm sorry, like not to be the atheist, but like I don't think this is a good argument in that direction. You know, like I said this during the episode too, as far as the V plot is concerned. Like, there's too much technobabble. Like it's there's no core to it. It's like, can we do it? Yes.
well, yeah, well, it's hard, and that's why we're going to need to do it in steps,
Yeah.
which is going to take a lot of screen time that we could spend, like, exploring the implications of, like, interfering with, like, a, like, small civilization's religion.
When we were setting up to record, like before we started
Hmm?
here, I was like, was the B plot really? Wait, what happened? Because I remember it taking up a lot of screen time, and I don't. As I was like trying to work it backwards, I was like, what? Why? Like, what happened to take up so much screen
Yeah.
time?
I don't know, like, maybe it, like, ends up being more in the season arc, but, like, they still got a bit of dark matter.
Yeah,
It's very puzzling.
they're doing it, and they're like, I guess like the whole antimatter matroid, or asteroid, I guess,
Mm.
is meant to go into there, and then it's like also here's a way we can sneak in a B plot, but like the idea of like an approaching apocalypse, not like I don't understand how we can't tie into the rest of the A plot, in this context.
Simply by the ground forces never knowing.
Like we're approaching like striking vipers levels of not paying attention to your own plot.
Yeah, no, it's very strange, right? Because there is, like, the sort of, like, yes, invisible angels are guarding us. And it's like, man, you just, like, dropped a, like, antimatter asteroid in space above these people. None of them noticed, and
There's
it's fine.
one of the last shots too is of the sky, and it's just like there's nothing there. Like it's just to indicate that like we are now transitioning back to the Discovery. But there isn't like you could have shown like, oh, look at all these asteroids flying by. Like at least have a cool visual. I don't
Hmm.
know, man. I don't I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I very genuinely don't know what they're doing. Like like I give some understanding and empathy to the fact that like it's hard to make a show or like an episode about religion on like a major,
Yeah,
network.
American TV network.
But you knew
This is, and,
that
like, right after the election of Trump.
but you knew that when you were writing the episode.
Yeah,
That wasn't like a, oh, right, I was just doing this for my buds in the garage, and now I suddenly have to rethink my entire approach as I have to publish it on Netflix. Like, you, this was established. Like,
I think this was this isn't a Netflix show actually.
no, no, I know, but
Yeah,
I didn't know where it was published.
CBS All Access, I believe.
Beautiful. That sounds like it. Yeah, it would be hard to get some controversial shit across. It doesn't need to, but like, I, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, no, it's very strange.
I don't I like
Who wrote this?
I like religion as a thing to discuss very genuinely. It feels like this episode is making fun of you for wanting that.
Like, I don't know, I feel like the episode is kind of like showing its hand by the moment it's like, and here's the stained glass windows of every religion. Like, yeah, no, I'm quite like, I'm disappointed in like a puzzled way.
Yeah, I think that's where I end up too. Like I just like I want to repeat like the image they show when we're first approaching the planet is of this like chapel and like this to me it kind of looked almost like a late medieval
Mm.
looking village around it, so I thought it was going to be like it's just straight up like Puritans or some shit.
Yeah,
And then they introduced the syncretism thing and then they just moved past that.
yeah.
And like i I don't know if it would have helped to be like, oh, it's an explicitly Christian sect or any other religion for that matter, but if you're gonna focus on it being a
Mm.
syncretistic
Yeah.
society,
Uh,
that should mean something,
yeah.
right?
Well, no. To just flag like one more interesting element. They originally like approached like this particular village because like the science true believer has been like just keeping the emergency broadcast
Yeah, yeah.
going on loop to like get Earth to show up. Um and like he sort of symbolically packs it up once he like gets his final truth
Yeah.
like from Pike, I think. And I do think there is like you can draw like a quite direct parallel to like I want to say like sort of automated prayer, which is like a thing that like a fair amount of religions do. And
Yeah.
like he just like does it and like does summon the people he cares to summon. So good job.
Just going up to like the minaret one day and it's like, don't have to do the Adhan anymore. God is back, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, that's just a minor observation of like a neat parallel you can draw. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, there's not that much more to it. And I think that's more or less all this episode amounts to.
This made me a little sad.
Yeah, no, it's again, I'm quite unhappy with my choice.
I
Like
didn't,
the
I didn't come into it with high hopes. Like, not to be overly mean.
I know I maybe I just like picked a bad episode, and like some of these things amount to more with like the season arc at least, they need the asterisk or something. But like that's not flagged.
You know what I choose to
So
believe on some level, Jorgen? I think we had this experience when we did Black Mirror in particular, where we are like, this didn't feel that deep. But then we sit down and we like have a chat, and maybe the episode is worse than we like enter
mm,
believing, but we have like a good little digging. And I think in my head, as I was watching this, I was like, yeah, religion, that's like a big thing to talk about. And then I just kind of like bracketed the idea that there's gonna be more to it.
yeah. Another just like I don't even want to cinema sense this, but I do just want to flag that like the opening narration is done by a character that is not there.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that either.
Uh,
I guess I just ascribed it to, a little bit of like, hey, here's Spock for you.
yeah, no, I actually don't know if Ethan Peck is in
I was
season one or
gonna
not.
ask. I
Yeah,
was
yeah, no,
gonna
it's
ask if
him.
it's the guy.
Um, yeah, no, we had a big Jim face blindness
What?
thing
No,
this
come on. The
episode because you
lighting is
didn't
different.
recognize Pike or a Washington like that quickly.
Okay, no, Owashikun is not a face blindness thing. She has shown up like once before prominently.
I reckon she's shown up twice. But yeah, no,
She's not exactly a central
it
character.
it's an unfortunate episode. And there we have it.
Beautiful. Really, really ramping up the energy here.
Yeah, we're going to finish up season one next week. I haven't picked the episode yet. That's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's less serialized than this one. And yeah,
There you go.
thank you for listening.
And see you on the other side.